Thank you, Julie, and please welcome Julie to the presentation.
First of all, thank you very much to the Department of Commerce and Royalties for Regions for making this happen. They do a fantastic job, as you can see, and we just walk in and hopefully give you, as Ray said, some opportunities to get some money. If it's not money, it's advice. As you know, up there from the slide, I'm Julie Mizen from Oz Industry, and I'm currently the Business Development Manager in Perth. Some of you may remember me as the Regional Manager down here in the south. Okay, who is Oz Industry? Oz Industry sits under the Department of Industry, so we've got Minister Ian McFarlane, and Bruce Busselton. So any programs that Minister McFarlane or Bruce Busselton run, Oz Industry deliver. Bruce Busselton is the Small Business Minister. The layout today, obviously, I'll be talking about our programs, but I also want to engage all of you guys in other programs that the federal department have. And one thing that I really want you to remember is that if it's not our program, still please ask us, because we're well connected with other federal government and state government agencies. We want you to have the right advice. We will not close the door on you and just say sorry. We will always refer on. The main programs that Oz Industry have are our flagship program, and we've all got businesses, we all have a flagship reason for being around, is the Research and Development Tax Incentive programs. And this started, as Oz Industry did, in 1987. So I'm going to explain a little bit more about that program because it's very important for those companies that are eligible. And those other programs listed are the main programs I'm going to talk to you about today. As I said, it's going to be a lot of information quickly, but don't worry, we're here after and we always want you to connect with us as much as you can. So the R&D tax incentive, for you guys out there with a business, what it really means is if you're doing something new and innovative that no one's done before, not business as usual, and you have a sort of like, I call hypotheses around it, and don't get scared about the word hypothesis, it's just like, you know, a plan on how to solve something. And then you put some structured planning and good record keeping in how to solve that problem. Then instead of it costing you $1, through the Oz Industry R&D tax incentive program, it'll cost you 55 cents because you'll get 45 cents back through a tax rebate. So as a government person, and I've had businesses with my husband, and obviously I'm a farmer's daughter from the wheat belt, it's easier to talk to you about what you save. It's not a grant, so instead of costing $1, it'll cost you 55 cents. But you've got to apply through Oz Industry to get a registration number, and then you've got to, in your tax return, put the registration number into the tax return, and the money will come back to you. You can be in a tax loss situation, so have a zero income, and you'll still get a cash tax rebate from the tax office. I like to repeat that, it's very unusual. So you can actually be in a tax loss, and I'm an accountant, and you will still get, if it's an R&D tax incentive business or, you know, project, you'll actually get cash back. I've got today with me an officer from the Perth office, Andrea Moncada, over on the table here on the right. And Andrea works on the R&D tax incentive program in Perth, as well as the TradeX program. I do need to stress that it's a partnership with the tax office. So you don't just come to Oz Industry and that's it. You pay your registration number with us, and we run information sessions every month in Perth on this program, and we do them regionally where we can. We did one in Busselton last November, I think, and we're happy to do another one down here if anybody would see the need. This guy in Osborne Park, the other day we were at a breakfast just like this, and he got up and said to us if he hadn't undertaken the R&D tax incentive, as you said, you can see in the second sentence, he said it helped him stay ahead of the pack. So that there's over 1,100 companies in Western Australia on this program. There's a number in this area. but because it's aligned to the tax office, I'm not allowed to give their names out without their permission. But rest assured, it's a program that good companies undertaking R&D tax should look at. This is our exporting program, and this is the one that Andrea is the coordinator of in the Perth office. We've got about 200 companies on this program. Is that right, Andrea, about that? And a number of them, once again, around here, but we always want more. So with this program, you don't pay duty or GST on a product that you import that you're going to re-export. So if there's no duty on it, you can even not claim the GST. That's correct, isn't it, Andrea? So if you're an exporter and you need to import something and you don't, the product that you re-export can be part of a new product that you send back out, or it doesn't have to be modified at all. It can just be placed back in. The last year of our textile clothing and footwear program is coming up, and there's $2.5 million per year in this program. This program's been running for 10 years, and a number of textile clothing and footwear innovative people in that space, a number of them based around Margaret River, were successful in this grant program. So what it is, you can receive $50,000 to improve your business processes and practices. It's not for putting a new computer in, but it can be for upgrading of your websites and things to help hopefully improve your market. But the most important thing to remember about this program, which makes it a little bit difficult to sell on my part, 2 years ago, they brought in a limit that you must have a $100,000 turnover now. So when we had a number in Margaret River that was successful, and Busselton, actually, I think it was someone in Busselton, I'm sorry I forgot that one, the turnover wasn't that high. But if you're raising the awareness about that with anybody you know doing textile clothing and footwear, then put them through to us. We've got 1 year left of that, and we'd love to get some more successful grantees in here. A lady in Esperance, Mermaid Leather. I don't know if anyone's ever been out to Esperance, and the guy catches the sharks and tans the fish and then makes it into leather products, fish leather. They received the funding to work out their export market strategies. This is general information now, but it's so useful that I can't possibly ignore it, and it's under the Department of Industry. The Small Business Support Line is an email or a chat line. Since its inception, it's had 120,000 people contact it. In the last 2 weeks, I've contacted the Small Business Support Line twice. Kununurra, who we look after with one of our grants, obviously had the floods, as you all know, and they asked me, the Small Business Centre manager asked me, did we have access to a disaster business continuity policy? And I thought, well, no, but let's try the Small Business Support Line. So I emailed off, and absolutely they sent me a template, which I sent up to Anita. The second one was an employment contract. I was asked, did we have access to employment contracts? So the Small Business Support Line, on the next page is the contact details. I emailed off to them, and they sent me the independent contractors template with the template in there for writing up a contract for a person. We've got live chat too, which is great, and that's obviously growing in popularity. And the business.govs, this site has 30 million unique visits a month. And I just love, the fact that that website is just so powerful and so important. It has 300 million hits a month to its ABN lookup, which I'm sure we've all used. Obviously, if you've got the scam issues, it's also, you can get to Scam Watch on that site. And I was reading yesterday people's comments, and I really loved the one that said, look, this is a government business assistance site, so we know it's been tested and, it must be right. Back to the money, Commercialisation Australia. This is where you've got intellectual property and you want to make some money out of it. And the intellectual property, as we all know, doesn't have to be, like with the patent attorney's badge on it. it can be protected through, trade secrets or company secrets. But it's got to be intellectual property that you control, and this program will help you get that project out, hopefully to the world. I always say to people the best way to think about Commercialisation Australia as a grant program is, can Australian government make a lot of money out of it, basically? And I'm not saying we would, but it's a program where it's got to be intellectual property that's needed by the world. So Commercialisation Australia has 4 streams. If you're fairly new with this new intellectual property and you've just come across, you might have invented the time machine or something, then you can actually use the first one, the skills and knowledge, to actually help you get a good business plan or work out where to go. So that's what I call your basic start. Or you might be more developed in the product and you just want to finalise the last bit of proof of concept or research and development, and that's where the third avenue comes in. And you might know a really good executive officer that's in another state or another country. You want to employ him, and that's where the second, or her, that's where the second category comes in. There's, I think, about 70 companies in Western Australia on this program. And the fourth one is about getting the product around the world. This company, with a mining product, as you can see, received 2 components of Commercialisation Australia. How this program works, as I said, is that you'll contact Oz Industry, but it's delivered by specialty people called case managers who have worked in the business of commercialising products. While I'm here, I want to speak to you about Skills Connect. Now, Skills Connect also sits under the Department of Industry portfolio, and there's a range of programs available there that you need to look at. It's run through our office in Perth, and they assisted last year over 100,000 businesses with, that's the apprenticeship programs that you all know, or getting to improvement of English and literacy programs called the WELL program. So anything like that type of program, you need to look at Skills Connect. And they're just redesigning how they deliver that skills and industry assistance. And they're looking at having a Skills Connect type fund, which will be more generally available to businesses to apply for. So it's a watch this space with that, but it's definitely Skills Connect is still up and running. IP Australia sits under the Department of Industry too, so if you're needing to trademark your business registration name, etc., all those areas, trademarks, product designs, then that's the area to contact. There is no email anymore for IP Australia. They're not using that anymore. Stopped a couple of weeks ago, so you need to contact them through that 1300 number. IP Australia on the end of that phone actually has qualified lawyers. So if you're worried, if you think, oh, it's a number, it's a call centre in, somewhere else, don't be, because this is the information you get from the IP Australia line is very valuable. The government, Bruce Bilson's latest mantra is that if he does not want any business not succeeding because of lack of information, and I think we'd all endorse that. And so to that end, what's happened with a few of the other government agencies, so we've moved from Department of Industry now, is that they're all putting out more information about how to help businesses. ASIC, which we all know, registers for companies, they now have a helpline. So if you've got any issues with how do I deregister, what happens if I do deregister, this only started about 2 months ago. This is the number to contact. What do I pay people? How much should I pay them? The Fair Work Ombudsman now has a helpline. So once again, this one's only started in the last couple of months. And the last one I want to tell you about, but I don't have a slide for, is the ACCC. That's, if you're selling goods, what are your rules for customers wanting to bring products back, etc. They now have a helpline and a whole series that you can do yourself on YouTube. So you can actually, as a manager, train yourself in making sure you've got the rules right with that. Now, everybody wants government money and everybody's always searching, but whatever you do, if you're searching for government grants, never pay any money. everything, and we're talking about Scam Watch. There's been quite a few websites set up that look like the government, but they're not the government, but people have been paying money for what I'm giving you now, free advice. We have a monthly newsletter. We'd love to register you all for it. Obviously, any grant that we have that's opening or closing, we put on there, and we put good stories about profiling regions, etc. And we'd love to put a story when the Busselton Airport gets here. Okay, so we're in Perth. I'm in Perth. There's 25 of us in Perth. There's 300 in Oz Industry in Canberra, and there's 3,000 totally in our department. We've got a regional manager office in Bunbury. It's currently empty, that position, so we're managing that from Perth. But when we're here, so contact us.